time was we did our nav bar for our cat homepage. We did our splash using some AI. We're doing a cat clothing website. So now we got to add our cards to display our products, right? So I'm going to go underneath my splash here. I'm going to add my first card. So remember, a card is a box. So if we go back here, right, this is just a box. So it needs its own div. So we're going to give it a div, and I'm going to give it a class of card. All right. Now the reason I'm giving a class of card is because each of my cards are going to be styled exactly the same way. So all of them are going to be in the same group. Remember, classes are used to style things that look exactly the same? Yes? No? Am I making... I'll take it. So I'm just going to have 3 cards there. All right? Now I'll go over here. I'm going to start by doing this. Dot card, right, because it's a class. And let's just put a border around it. I'm going to do 1 pixel. I'm going to do solid. I'm going to do RGB 220, which is a gray. And there we go. Press play. And I have a thinking question. I have a higher order question for you guys. You could see that there is a border here, but it's teeny tiny. Why do you think it's just like compressed like that? Why is my box so small? Why is it? Yeah. So, but like, should it be height? Yeah. Why is there no height? Where would I type it? So the code is up here. Where would I put? Where could my box add some height to it?
The splash?
Nope. This is the splash, so that's good. It's got its height. Where in this could I adjust the height?
Border.
No. It's somewhere in the container. We're in the right place. Okay. The gap is between. So like, you see how there's a little gap here? There are gaps. Those are fine. The rows. So how many rows have I defined so far? No, how many rows have I defined? 1 row, that's 600. There's no second row, so it just doesn't exist. So we have to give it a definition. I'm going to say I want my cards to be 400 pixels. So if I press play now, I'll like pop it over here. You see now they actually are fixed 400 pixels tall. All right, so that's it. So just make sure that as you are going along, you're adding your rows one by one to your template. Okay, next part. Yeah, that looks good. We got to start adding some things to it. So just to compress this a little bit, hold on. I want this to look a little bit better. Can I add, I'm going to add it. I'm going to do 5 columns just so this looks a little bit better. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I just got to extend this now. Okay, great. All right, so I got my 3 cards. Now it's just time to start adding the image and text to it. Straightforward stuff. Ready? So let's go get a cat clothing image. So what kind of, let's do Microsoft Image Generator. What kind of image do I want for my cat? I want a cat in a dress. So a picture of a cat in a very pretty dress.
Put it in a quinceañera.
Can you spell quinceañera for me? For
Nope.
a quinceañera.
Yes.
That cannot be right.
They're missing some letters.
I hate that I'm like recording this too, and I'm gonna have to post this on the internet because I'm gonna look really stupid. Okay, way off. I missed half the letters.
It was close.
Thank you, I appreciate you. A quinceañera dress, looking shy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. You know, because it's like your 16th, everyone's gonna be looking at you. You're like, or is it 15th? 15th. So you're like, oh, all my uncles and aunts and friends are there in one place. A lot of attention.
Well, that is weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Get the makeup. I just want to say that I can spell for anyone watching this video on the broader internet. I just don't know quinceañera. Every other word I can spell. Try it. Oh, I love it. It's exactly what I wanted. Oh, I love AI. Dress. All right, so we got our cat dress. Okay, and we'll go over here, and now we're going to add inside our card. So I'm going to take my first card here. I'm going to add an image, IMG. I'm going to give it a class because I'm going to style this. I'm going to call this card pick. because I'm going to style this a little bit later. I'm going to give it a source, and the source is going to be dress.jpg. All right, let's take a look at how we're at so far, just to see how our card's coming along. So what do we think? What's up with the card? Too big. That's right. So I'll just explain this to you. Cards, I mean, images have a natural size. Like if you looked at, let me see if they have the data here on it. They don't tell you here, but if you looked at image data, it tells you it's 112 pixels by 1,000 pixels or whatever. Okay, each one has a natural size. So if you don't resize it, it just goes to like what it actually is supposed to be. You can resize it though using CSS. So over here, I'm going to go to card pick. I'm going to give it a width of 100%. Yeah, let's give it 90%. Okay. Now let's do 100. Now let's do 90%. Let's see how that looks. Now let's do 100%. Sorry. And I'll do a height of 90%, and I'll explain that in a second why. So width is 100%. And when you say 100%, you're saying I want to go 100% across and 90% down. The reason I did 90% is we're going to have to put some text there, right? So I left a little bit of room there so I can put some text. And in fact, maybe I want to do a little bit more. So let's go to 80% there. And just one last thing, I want to add some margin here. Margin is space between the cards. I'm going to add a little bit on here. Let's do 50 pixels, 50 pixels. Okay. Great. Look at that cute little kitty. All right. So now there's 3 pieces of text. So what were the 3? What's in a card usually? Like what text am I going to include? Yeah, so I'm going to do, well, first I'm going to get like, we'll call this, let's give this one a class of like the product name, like card name, right? Okay, let's do this 2 more times. You said description, right? That's another word that I probably can't spell, but who cares? I know I said I could spell every word. I lied. And then card price, okay? So then we can put these 3 pieces of things in, data in. So what's the name of this? Quinceañera address?
Yeah.
All right, great. I'll try to spell it. So I go back to my code, quinceañera address. Let's make that a capital Q. All right, the perfect dress for that special day.
Special day dress.
Okay, and then the card price. How much are we going to charge for our cat quinceañera dress?
$1,000.
By the way, is it going to be human years, the quinceañera for that, or is it going to be like cat years? Like, are they 2.5 cat years when they wear that dress, or are they going to be 15 years old, which is like 100 human years?
The cat decides.
What?
The cat decides.
The cat decides. Okay, the cat decides. All right, so let's take a look at what this looks like in its natural state. All right, so it's good, but you see how it kind of like goes outside the card? That's because P tags have a little bit of space between them. We call that margin. We have to take away the margin. So I'm just going to go here, and let's start just styling these up a little bit. So that first one, we're going to call this card name. You might remember. I'm going to do margin 0, and I'm going to do font weight bold, because usually like the name is bolded. Like if I went to here, you see how like this is bold? Okay, so let's do that, and let's see how that looks. So you see that's a little bit bolded now. All right, let's go to card description. Description, did I spell that right? And let's do margin 0 again. And the description is usually like a font size of 11. Okay, and then finally card price. That was also bold. Font weight bold. Okay, let's take a look here at our cat card. Oh, margin 0. This looks, okay, and let me just adjust the font size. I'm sorry, I'm almost done, guys. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Are you guys mad?
Struggling a little bit.
Struggling, I just felt I was done. All right, and you know what? These need a little bit more space between them. I'm gonna give 2 pixels to each one. Don't be mad. I'm so sorry, guys. Are you mad?
Yeah, not really.
Okay, that was just adding. Okay, so that's my site now. You can see now I have my card. It's my quinceañera dress. The perfect dress for that special day is $1,000. So that's how I'd make the cards for my site. You guys need to have 6, all right, of these cards minimum. You could have more if you have more things you want to offer your things. But what you would do if you wanted to replicate this though, now it's very easy, right? You just take this and copy it and then just modify. So I would do 5 of these cards, let's say. And now if I go like this, you can see, and I would just modify from there, change the image, change the text, and like now I got all my cards. Okay? One last thing. Box shadow.
Oh my god.
No. Now box shadow is just a nice way to make things look pretty. I'll show you how to add a little box shadow to your things. So you see how this has like a shadow around it? I'm just going to grab this. You can just Google it. That's what I'm doing. I do not memorize these things either. So for my cards, I'm going to give this a card. It's going to have a box shadow like that. Let's make this gray again. Okay. And let's see how that looks. You see how the cards now have that little pop, like they're coming off the screen? Can you see that? So that's a way of giving depth to your websites. Just adding a little bit of box shadow. These are just pro tips for you. Not required, but pro tips. All right, that's it. Have a great time.